I don't ever get this concept that people have online where they're so infatuated with the dating preferences or the dating standards of other people on social media or just other people in general, right? I've always stated that. I've always stated that. But and I've always stated that that stems from insecurity. So technically speaking, I do get it, but it comes from insecurity. It comes from when people are this infatuated in speaking about the dating standards of other people and criticizing other people for having certain dating standards. It comes from the fact that they're upset at that other person who might have a preference that they don't fit the description of. Thus, it makes them feel less attractive. But I mean, technically speaking, these types of people who feel this way, who feel the need to who feel the need to criticize other people's for having their own dating status, already feel unattractive. But then once they hear that other person's preferences or standards that they do not fit the description of, it further makes them feel unattractive. So they get defensive and feel the need to shame people for having these types of standards. So that's really, and that's where it comes from. And yo, what's going on, Shaka? And that's the case when people are obsessed with this whole passport bro scandal and shit. Well, I wouldn't call it a scandal, but this whole passport bro movement. And when people, especially you have a lot of so-called black American females that have so much things to say about black American males who just choose to travel to other parts of the world and choose to open up their dating options and date uh females from different parts of the world, right? Because these black American females are upset or they already deep down inside feel unattractive. So when they see these black American males go to these other places, right, and you know, open up their standards, it makes these same black American females feel less attractive than they already feel, you know? And that's the case. And the thing is that what you have now is a lot of people reveling, and it seems as if they're celebrating what's going on with this young kid in Brazil named Austin Holloman. You know, a lot of you people know he's originally from the United States and he moved to Brazil a couple of months ago. And he was known for making a lot of content talking about dating, you know, dating females in Brazil and giving his own opinion on what he think the females in Brazil are like and their thinking and how they think and what you know, giving his own perspective, right? And a lot of people had issues with that. But now you have this some people say a feminist from Brazil who supposedly threatened Austin Holloman on social media, and also I guess she's trying to slander him, and a lot of these insecure people are celebrating that, and some actually even view that as the quote unquote passport bro movement losing, and it's like okay, to me that doesn't even make any sense. But then again, when people make that statement, it's stemming from their insecurity because they want to see that movement destroyed, or for the fact that they do not like to see other males express dating options that they don't fit the description of, or express dating standards that they don't fit the description of. But the thing is that it doesn't make sense to just say that an entire online movement is crushing because Austin Holloman is right now is going through adversity. See, the thing is that when you're a content creator, the more popularity that you receive, I mean, not even a content creator, but when you're popular in general, whether in the mainstream world or in the social media world, you're going to go through adversity, right? You're going to go through adversity. which means that you're going to have people that's going to try to hate on you. What's going on, Man of Tomorrow, Mansfield Hall of Fame, Psycho Candy, and once again, what's up, Shaka Nulu? But going back to what I was saying, right? When you receive, the more fame you receive, the more adversity you may have to overcome, which means that you're going to have people that's going to hate on you. You're going to even get people that's going to threaten you, and you're going to have people that's going to try to slander you. And then you have your um clout chasers that's try to chase that try to bring fame to themselves. They're trying to feed off of another person's fame to bring fame to themselves, right? So you're going to face these types of different types of adversity, especially slander. So what this feminist is doing is trying to destroy and slander Austin Holloman's reputation. Now, although I don't agree with every single thing Austin Holloman says and does, right? But I don't think that he's an evil guy. I don't think that he's an evil individual, right? But then you have this one feminist who is going around social media and defaming him and slandering him. And you have those who hate on the Passport Bros movement who's looking at that as the whole entire country of Brazil wants Austin Holloman out, all because of this one individual. And that doesn't make any sense. But once again, when people say that, it stems from them wanting to see that movement fail. Because once again, you got these individuals who hate to see Black American males express dating preferences that that especially these Black American females don't fit the description of. So a lot of it stems from insecurity, which is why they want to see that Passport Bros movement fail. you know, but what I was going to say, I was going to say something else, right? But yeah, all Austin Holloman is going through right now is some adversity, and when it comes to adversity, and when you know that what you're doing is not wrong, you don't stand any wrong, you haven't broken any law, you haven't done anything to harm anybody. Your job is to stand 10 toes down on front of the face of adversity, and you challenge adversity. When people slander you, it's up to these individuals who are making these allegations about you to prove their point. And if they cannot prove their point, then by that they're lying. If someone accuses you of anything, the burden of proof is on that person to prove that their accusations about you is true. So if someone is accusing you of committing any criminal acts, if someone is accusing you of doing any type of thing that is harmful to human beings, they have to prove that their allegations are true. If they don't prove it, automatically they're lying, and thus what they say should be dismissed. And that's the case uh, um, with this Brazilian feminist out there slandering Austin Holloman. She has to prove that her accusations about him is true. And if she can't prove it, then automatically her allegation should be dismissed. And therefore, Austin Holloman, if he know that he hasn't done anything wrong, if he knows that these allegations that she's throwing at him is not true, then he should challenge her by asking her to prove her point. Prove her points. But instead, he's making videos apologizing. It seems like he's shook and he's scared. And he's scared. And you shouldn't be like that when it comes to adversity, because that comes with the territory of increasing in popularity. People are going to say these things about you. And then once again, you have those who are against this Passport Bro movement who are celebrating that. and acting as if this is a great thing when it's not. you know, but that's the thing with insecure. I don't know. That's the thing with insecure people. That's the problem. They always they the thing is with a lot of people who have insecurity issues, it stems from a lot of traumatic things that they've gone through during childhood. A lot of insecure people have gone through a lot of abuse, whether it's physical and or mental and or emotional abuse that have destroyed their self-esteem. So a lot of people who have insecurity issues, they've gone through life where their confidence and their self-esteem has been crushed due to them growing up, in an abusive environment. But instead of them actually healing from whichever abuse that they've gone through, instead of them building the confidence that they supposed to have, instead of them building that self-esteem that they're supposed to have, they instead what they do is that they expose their insecurity, they expose they they expose at they expose their insecurity, they expose their hatred for themselves, right? By actually having something negative to say about other people who are just enjoying themselves and living their life and not even bothering them. What's going on, Brownsburg? What's going on? What's going because when you are a confident person, when you are a person with self-esteem, right? When you are secure about yourself, you have nothing bad to say about other people who express a specific preference when it comes to anything out of life. Whether that person exposes or express a specific dating preference, or preference for a certain food, or preference to a certain book they want to read, or preference to a particular sport that they like, etc., etc. A confident, secure person has nothing bad to say about that, except for, well, not except for, the only thing a person with who's secure about themselves will say is that, well, they'll probably express whether that's their cup of tea or that's not their cup of tea. You know what I'm saying? They're not going to sit there trying to shame other people for just having a preference. See, the things with a lot of insecure people is that, once again, instead of building that self-esteem, instead of building that confidence and healing from the abuse that they've gone through, instead of healing from the traumatic situation that they've gone through, they actually try to look for external things to try to fill in, or you utilize or look for external things to try to produce or replace that self-confidence and that self-love that they should be building from within. And a lot of people who are insecure, they look for the opposite sex to try to give them value and trying to give them that love that they should be building from within. So when they see the opposite sex, right, that they so rely on to try to build that self-worth and that self-esteem, profess an attraction to someone that doesn't look like them, oh, that further kills their self-esteem. So they need to react by shaming that individual, by saying, hold up, hold on. You need you need to be expressing how you find me attractive. You need to express how much you want to date me. You need to express how much you love me. It doesn't matter how much I treat you. You need to do whatever it takes to make me feel good about myself. All right. And if you don't do that, I'm going to make you feel bad about what you're doing, even though what you're doing is not wrong. But I'm going to make you feel bad because I want you to gas my head up and build my self-esteem, although it's my job for me to build my self-esteem, my own self-esteem. And that's the case with these motherfuckers. And you see that behavior come into play when you see them make their videos on YouTube, when you see them make their live stream on YouTube. You see that shit. You see that clown shit takes place. You see, I sit back, I peep game, I recognize that shit. You know, and that's to me, I think that's in a nutshell this thing where you have a lot of so-called Black American females critique the Passport Bros movement. It's all based. It's all based a lot of times in insecurity. There's probably there are other factors too that come into play, but one of the biggest factors is insecurity because I don't see how anybody who is secure in themselves, who has confidence in themselves, is actually going to have a problem with the opposite sex just having specific dating preference towards another group of females, right? I mean, sure, don't get me wrong. People have their right to have whichever opinions they have on the Passport Bros movement. I mean, I have my opinions. Well, I really have one opinion on the Passport Bro movement that I disagree with. Outside of that one opinion, I don't give a fuck what they do. I don't even give a fuck if they are tricking. If they are going to other countries to trick and to buy some hoes or engage in prostitution, in which I don't think that's a smart thing. I don't think that's a safe thing to do. But if that's what they choose to do, fuck it. That's on them. That's on them. you know, but once again, it goes down to a lot of people having insecurity issues. That's really what this whole criticism of the Passport Bros stem from. A lot of insecurity within the people who critique these individuals. I find it so funny how these same individuals who have 100 or a million and one things to say about that Passport Bros movement are the same ones who claim that these individuals who are getting passports and going overseas are the ones who cannot attract a female in America. If that's the case, if that's the case, then why are you concerned about a group of people who supposedly cannot attract a female here in America? I'm just saying. And let's just keep it real. I mean, that logic to me doesn't make any sense, right? Because when someone assumes that the reason why a black male in America decides to go overseas and try dating or having or marrying females from another country is due to the fact that they cannot that they cannot attract a female here in America, the logic is that the only reason why these males are doing it is not because of voluntary choice. It's not because of preference. It's because they're deficient in something. So that logic to me is dumb because once again, you're actually, well, yeah, you are negating personal choice, in which you really, these people are upset at these males utilizing personal choice, but then go out on social media and make this assumption or make up this theory that these guys are doing it as a result of not having any personal choice. You know, which to me that concept don't even make any sense. You mean to tell me that none of these males in America who are deciding to date females overseas, they're not doing it because they just prefer or have a better outcome when they have dated females overseas? So there's no, so you're just gonna make it seem as if preference is not a factor or personal choice is not a factor, right? It's just they doing it as a result of not being able to get something else. Please, please. And I would like to know, where's the evidence of this? Where's the data that proves this? What's going on, Jay Charles? What's going on? What's up? What's up, Jay Charles? What's up, Doug? What's up, Doug? Let me see. Doug and Psycho Candy and Janadrian Batard made similar points. So Doug said, so what did Doug say? Doug said, announcing publicly what you're doing in these countries has repercussions. I believe people forgot or people forget that people of those countries are watching what you're publishing. I mean, if you're okay, if someone is doing something that is unlawful or that is immoral and they publicly exposing it on social media, then I would agree with Doug, right? But as far as Austin Holloman, right? As far as Austin Holloman's case, what have he publicized that was actually wrong? Because because so far, because I've watched a few of his videos, right? I'm not gonna say I've watched all of his videos, but I've watched a few of his videos, and so far, I haven't seen the young kid publicize buying prostitutes. I have not seen it. I'm not saying that he haven't done it. I'm saying that I have not seen it. But if y'all have seen content where he have promoted prostitution, please let me know. I'm just saying I have not seen it. You know, I have not seen this young kid, Austin Holloman, actually actually expose things that are actually unlawful, you know. So I don't get this. I don't get this keep it on the low type of argument. You know, don't publicize everything. Keep things under covers, keep it silent. I don't get it because as long see, usually when people have this move in silence mentality, that's really based upon, criminals have that mentality. That's a criminal mentality. Let's move in silence because, of course, criminals, when they're engaging in criminal activity, they have to move in silence. They have to keep things, under covers because if their criminal activity gets exposed to the public, they can go to jail. That's really a drug dealer slash gang banger mentality. Move in silence. Once again, it comes from because what they're doing is illegal, so therefore they have to move in silence in order for them to not get arrested, not get caught for the criminal acts that they're doing. So if these people, well, I'm just specifically speaking right now, speaking specific for Austin Holloman, if he has done anything that is illegal, in which I have not seen him so far doing or engaging in anything illegal, then why should he move in silence? I don't understand that. Okay, so there's posts where males and females are offended by what he's doing. But once again, it's one thing to be offended, but it's another thing if he actually has done things that are against the law. I mean, anybody could go on social media and express how they're offended by what someone is doing. Someone could look at my video right now and get offended by what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is not against any law. You get what I'm saying? Someone could listen to my shit right now and get offended because most likely I'm talking about they punk asses, right? But am I saying anything that can incriminate me in a court of law? And the answer is no. So as long as that happens, that's all that matters. People will always get offended. Oh, okay, but it okay. So, but the thing is that that's kind of perverted. I would never ask. I personally would never ask a female that. But is it against the law in that country to ask a female that question, and for that female to answer that question? Once again, what has Austin Holloman done in that country that can land him in jail and or deport him out the country? Because remember that feminists, according to her words, have the intention of either getting him kicked out of Brazil. But what is he doing that is against the law of that country and that can get him kicked out? I mean, you do understand, that when people have a level of fame and they might say or something that other people might personally disagree with, people always want to you going to have some type of person that's going to threaten that individual and stuff like that. Man, please. I don't, man, please. Oh, there's always, listen, there's people who wanted to hurt me or who threatened to hurt me because of the shit that I said, just by me speaking. Listen, when you're outspoken and you give your opinions on here, a lot of, there's always going to be a certain segment of people that's going to try to threaten to do something to you. And very few of them will actually make good of their words. Now, the thing is that even if people want to threaten you, if you know that you haven't done anything wrong, your job is to stand 10 toes down on what you said. Thank you. Thank you, Shaka. Thank you, Shaka Nulu. People always got something to say. People always got something to say. So therefore, what? He got to leave that country because somebody got something to say? Come on, man. Like I said, I don't agree with every single thing that Austin Holloman says and does, but the few videos that I've seen them done, I have not seen them done something that is incriminating or harmful to the society there. People always going to have something to say. People always got, yo, so somebody doxed him. How many people on social media here in America have been doxed or have their address to be exposed? How many people have done that? That's what I'm saying. People, there's always going to be a segment of people, especially if you're outspoken, you're grown in you have a certain level of popularity. There's always going to be a segment of people who are going to try to destroy you. There's always going to have a segment of people who are going to try to do that. Once again, your job is to stand 10 toes down against these individuals, right? And if people are giving out this person's address. Now it is up to Austin Holloman to get an attorney to represent him in order for so he could understand what he can do legally to press charges against these people. See the thing is, and it's no disrespect towards anyone on the chat, right? But it's like this. A lot of black males have a lot of fear. It's like a lot of so-called black males in America, especially in America, like have a lot of fear when it comes to adversity. When it comes to facing adversity, they have a lot of fear. It's like it's like once they see a group of idiots try to harm Austin Holloman, people talking about, well, he should run, he should leave, he should leave, he should leave. But it's like, why should he leave if he haven't done anything that's incriminating, anything that is harmful to society? Just because a few individuals supposedly are online, supposedly are offended at what he's saying, even though he haven't said anything that is harmful towards the Brazilian people. I haven't seen him or heard him say anything derogatory about the Brazilian people. I have not. What's up? What's up? What up, Lawrence guy? What's going on? Okay, Doug, I get that you're just reporting what you have observed, but once again, I don't. Even though you're reporting from what I have from what you've observed, once again, my response to what you've observed is that why why should Austin Holloman leave Brazil? Because that it seems like that's the argument you stand on. I'm like, why should Austin Holloman leave Brazil just because there is a small segment of people within that country who are supposedly uh trying to harm him because of him being outspoken. Someone supposedly was offended by his videos when really he haven't really said or did anything derogatory to any Brazilian person, but nonetheless, someone supposedly are offended by his videos, or this one feminist trying to slander him. Once again, like Shaka Nulu said, people are going to say anything about anybody. People always have something to say. People always have something to say, man. Yo, Doug, you keep repeating yourself. Dude, I understand. That's what you've seen. Okay, that's what you've seen. And I'm giving my response based on what you've seen. I got that. You don't need to keep repeating it. you know? Oh, Lawrence Guy, right? Lawrence Guy. Really, what I'm speaking about, I don't think that you've watched the beginning of this live. What I'm really talking about is insecurity issues, and I've used as an example of people online exposing their insecurity that how people are celebrating what Austin Holloman is going through. And a lot of these individuals celebrating that, or it seems to be celebrating that, it stems from their insecurity. So the main point that I'm talking about are, people on here expressing insecurity issue or expressing their self insecurity. That's all. That's all, really. And I guess like most lives, like what happens in most lives, that topic got segued and derailed. Yeah, man. But I don't. But going back to the topic, when it comes to insecurity issues, yeah, the moment you see people on social media that have a lot of negative things to say about the dating standards of the opposite sex, that lets you know right there that they have insecurity issues, because people who are comfortable and secure underneath their own skin don't give a flying fuck about the dating standards of a total fucking stranger. Even if that other person is not a stranger, a person who is secure in themselves, who are comfortable underneath their own skin, would not give a fuck about the dating standards of a person that they know or don't know. I mean, that same insecurity, you see that within black males on social media. So it's not only so-called black females that display their insecurity issues. You see these black males that display these insecurity issues. The moment a lot of these so-called black males come across a so-called swirler or divester, you see their insecurities. You see their insecurity on 10, or their insecurity going off 100 miles an hour. Talking about, oh, that Caucasian guy doesn't really want you. That Caucasian guy doesn't really find you attractive. You can't get no non-black guy. Like that motherfucker knows what a female can or cannot attract. You see that same insecurity within black males. So it's not only so-called black females that have that insecurity, that have a high level insecurity issues. You see a lot of so-called black males, especially in America, have a high level of insecurity issues. And it stemmed from, once again, like I said before, a lot of people growing up in an abusive environment, in an abusive background, where their confidence and their self-esteem was crushed. And instead of them working on to build that self-esteem, to build that self-confidence, to build their security, or they're secure in themselves, they rely on external sources to develop that confidence that they supposed to have from within, right? And a lot of times people utilize the opposite sex in order to help develop that confidence and that love and that self-love that they supposed to build within themselves. A lot of males have that same issue. They rely on females, right? Or how many female partners they've been with in order to try to develop this self-worth about themselves. You see a lot of guys do that, where they brag about how many females they slept with or how many females they can attract in order to make it seem as if they have some sort of value in society, where that means nothing. When you rely on another person to determine your self-worth, right? That means that you really deep down inside don't have any, because you're insecure, because your self-worth, right? Your confidence should come from within you. Phew. So then, when you see these males who rely on females in order for them to have that self confidence or that self worth, and these same females who they think supposed to put value in them express an attraction to males that don't look like them or that they don't fit the description of, they react the same way by trying to shame these females, which is why you see a lot of these so-called black males in the so-called black manosphere, you know, shame females or have a lot to say about females who are attracted to quote unquote Pookies and Ray Rays. Like nigga, a motherfucker with some self-worth wouldn't give a fuck about a bitch who finds some thug nigga attractive. The fuck? Yo, hold on. I'll be right back. Hold on for a minute. Yeah, I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. Sorry about that, but yeah, Shaka. I wouldn't give two shits if a female wasn't attracted to me. Fuck, I care about, man. Fuck, I care about that shit. You motherfuckers probably thought that I was only going to go in on so-called black females in this video. No, no, I'm gonna go in on you so-called black males too. All right, because both the so-called black male and female fucked up. They're both fucked up. So it wouldn't be fair for me to talk about one group of so-called blacks and not speak about the other group of so-called blacks, especially when both sides are some very insecure fucking people. And like I said, a lot of times it stems from a lot of brothers and sisters coming from an abusive environment where their self-esteem and their confidence was crushed, which is sad. But then once you become an adult, once you become an adult, you're going to have to understand the fact that whatever self-esteem that was taken from you as a child, now you're an adult. Now you're supposed to utilize that time to build that self-esteem that you never had before, that you probably didn't have before. Because once you're an adult, nobody should have any effect on you. See, your parent, once you're an adult, your abusive parents or whoever raised you and abused the hell out of you have absolutely no control over whether or not you can heal from whichever past traumas that you're going through. All right? You guys need to stop relying on external sources, right? In order to try to build your self-esteem when your self-esteem starts and ends with you. You. What up, K Business Podcast? What up? Oh, what's up? Oh yeah. What's up to the antisocial socialite podcast? What's up? What's up, mama? Your self-esteem begins and ends with you. You and only you. That's it. That's it. You can't, you know, and a lot of this, and when you see a lot of people on YouTube display their insecurity issues, their low self-esteem issues, their lack of confidence, they are actually showing how much they have not grown up. They are showing how much of an arrested development that they have. When you got motherfuckers who are 50 to 60 years old arguing with 20 something year olds about how many bitches that they get, that's some insecure shit, man. Because only an insecure 40, 50, or 60-year-old is going to sit there and waste time in arguing with a fucking 20 something year old. Nigga, I'm in my 30s. I'm not even going to argue with someone in their 20s unless if we're having a debate about a particular topic. If we're having a debate about a serious topic, a debate on politics, a debate on uh, spirituality, or some sort of legitimate debate based on a topic that matters, that's one thing. But I'm not going to sit there and get in an emotional rant and argue with some 20 something year old about some petty shit. I'm not going to do that shit. The fuck? And I'm not even in my 40s yet. I ain't that far from 40, but I'm not there yet. you know? Nah, you're right. You're right, Lawrence guy. You're right. You're right. He said, Lawrence Guy said the wacky world of OTV. I agree. However, none of these people are adults. Generally, the age of abuse happen is when they mentally stop developing. Not an excuse, but just the nature of things. Well, I get it. I get that. But there comes a time in the person's life where they're supposed to understand that they cannot change the past, but they have the power to change the present and the future. So they have to come to a time where they have to accept the fact that whatever they're going through as a child, now that they're an adult, they cannot allow their past traumas to continue to affect their lives. A person has to come to that type of epiphany, if you want to call it that. You have to come to that. You have to come to terms with yourself at some point in your adult life. Because as an adult, if you continue to allow your childhood traumas to affect your life, you are just going to go through a pattern of constant failure. And we see that within a lot of people here on YouTube. Just by people's behavior, you could tell where they're, to some degree, where they're at in life. Hell, a lot of them people actually admit where they're at in life. But then when you see how they behave, you're like, okay, motherfucker, you got too much childhood traumas, motherfucker, that you haven't healed from. And that's probably the main reason why you are living a life of excessive failure. You know what I'm saying? It's you. Yeah, that is true, MOT. Yeah. Most of these people have not reached that age of reason, and they might they might leave this earth not reaching that age of reason. But you know what? Whose fault is it for someone to not reach that age of reason? Whose fault is it? I think that is the fault of each individual. Yeah, man. And and I've seen this insecurity in people almost all my life, right? Because you even have people, whether on social media and in my real life, who would express an issue about me when I haven't done a thing to these motherfuckers, right? And then when I would ask them, or other people would ask them, well, Wacky haven't done a goddamn. What did Wacky do to you? What did Wacky do to you for you to for you to feel this way about him? Then you have this whole then you have this whole this whole tangent of these individuals assuming who I am, saying, "Oh, this motherfucker's arrogant. He think he better than everybody. He think he's this. He think he's that. He think he better than everybody. He think he's above all people. He's this. He's that. He's this. He's that." And I look at him. I'm like, you know what? You actually right. You actually right. I do think I'm better than you. But the thing is that how should that? How should me know that I'm better than you have an effect on you and your life? Because if you were secure and confident in yourself, you wouldn't give a fuck about how I feel about myself in comparison to you. All right? All right? Shoot. I've been around very arrogant motherfuckers. I've been around extremely arrogant, cocky motherfuckers. And the thing is that they never had an effect upon me. I recognize that they're cocky and arrogant, but they never had an effect upon me because I never allowed them to. Because I didn't care about them being cocky and arrogant. Why? Because I'm secure in myself. I'm comfortable underneath my own skin to not give a shit about another individual who's cocky and arrogant and think that he's so high above me. I don't care. If you think that you're high above me, then go ahead and think that way. If that makes you feel good, that's fine. That ain't affecting anything that I'm doing on my side. You know what I'm saying? That ain't gonna affect me no how. You know, and if people actually had that same mentality, I think the world will be a little bit better. You know, because if you're worried about a person that you think is arrogant and cocky and you feel that they think they're better than you, if you're bothered by that, it's because you're not comfortable underneath your own skin. You're not confident in yourself. Because if you was, you wouldn't give a damn what people think about you, man. Right. Exactly. Exactly. Exactly, Lawrence Guy. Lawrence Guy said, if you're better than me, then my job is not to be upset, but learn from you to achieve the same or similar goals for the sake of confidence and accomplishment. Man, that is true. That is true. We're supposed to learn from each other, eat the meat and spit out the bone. Yeah, even the scriptures say that. But outside of that, I do have to go. You know, I can't stay here for long. I'm not like a lot of people on YouTube that want to create no 8, 9, 10 hour live stream. What the fuck? I mean, goddamn, something must be very void in your life to have a 10-hour live stream. Nigga, I never even knew that these streaming applications like StreamYard or Zoom could actually go for that long, man. I mean, goddamn. You know, but I'm out of here, B. All right. You know, I hope a lot of you motherfuckers learned something from here, from this video. If you haven't, oh well. But yo, y'all have a great day. Peace.